Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. We've seen a handful of new updates go live recently in Warzone 2 and MW2 with Season 2 Reloaded and a handful of smaller hotfix updates, but also in the background, the devs have been slowly revealing a handful of other gameplay changes, other gameplay updates that are going to be coming to the game or actually already have been introduced in the recent days. We also have some very interesting new leaks to go over as well. Let's start first with a new update that was implemented earlier on this week that a lot of players for Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer should be pretty excited about if you're into the ranked mode. There's been a lot of talk, a lot of conversation recently in regards to how solo queuing plays in MW2 ranked. Oftentimes it was pretty punishing to be a solo player, especially if you're running into multiple players queued up together. It's just rough with communication. You have to rely on your random teammates to have those good in-game comms, to even have a mic in general. And if you're going up against a squad that is, comprised of 2, 3, 4 players maybe, and they're in a Discord or a TeamSpeak, they got the comms on point, like it's gonna be rough to play against that. And Treyarch has actually made an update to help out the solo queuing in ranked. They say ranked play. We released a background update to ranked play matchmaking this morning to improve the competitiveness of matches when solo players are put into games against parties, essentially meaning that if you are a solo player and it matches you up against a party on the other team, in theory, you should have teammates that are going to be probably a little bit higher skilled than you and equal or if not better than the enemies you are going to be facing to quote unquote balance things out. They also follow that up by saying we will continue to monitor solo and party ranked play performance and make adjustments to ensure that both solo and party play are competitively viable. Now, this is one particular update they've implemented. They're going to see how this plays. If it magically solves a lot of the problems with solo queuing, then obviously it's going to be the mainstream solution moving forward. If there is still a lot of issues though where solo players are consistently losing matches to partied up players on the other team, I wouldn't be surprised at all if sometime down the road they also add in additional updates to make it so that when you solo queue, there's a much higher chance that you're going to end up in a lobby with other players that are also just solo queuing. That could have an effect on matchmaking times and some inadverse effects there to players when they're trying to actually find a game. It might be harder to find more diverse lobby pools. You might run against the same players a handful of times in a row, but still it would be an upgrade to the overall competitive experience of not constantly getting stomped just because you're not playing with a party, right? So definitely some good updates there for ranked play. Also, real quick, want to give you guys a bit of a heads up. Right now, Gamer Advantage is doing a bit of an extended sale on everything on the site. So if you want to pick up a new pair of frames, Code Immortal is actually going to stack on top of the current 15% off discount on the site. So you'll get a 25% discount on your order. And that's like one of the largest discounts they've ever offered. Definitely a fantastic time to maybe get yourself a new pair of frames. They offer prescription or regular lenses and plenty of different actual frame options as well. Just simply throw in Code Immortal at checkout to take advantage of this increased discount. Now, getting into some other changes the devs have revealed recently, we've actually got some that again are already implemented, but also a lot of changes that are going to be coming up here in the relatively near future, some gameplay updates and some gameplay fixes that I've seen a lot of you guys talking about in the comments over on Twitter, in the Discord server, wherever it might be, asking Zach, what's going on with this? Do we have a fix for that? Have they said anything about it? Initially here on the MW2 Trello board, one fix that was actually moved into the resolved issues area, meaning that the fix should now be live, is in regards to the operator audio on the main menu where the breathing was going on. You'd just be sitting on the main menu and your character was sounding kind of like Darth Vader for no reason whatsoever, right? They released that update with all the bug fixes a couple of days back that we covered. As far as I can recall, that's not one of the updates that was mentioned in the patch notes, despite several of the ones that were in those patch notes also being moved to the resolve tab at the same time. So no more character breathing on the menu, at least according to the Trello board updates here. Now, when it comes to some future updates, some future changes, we got a handful of global ones that have recently been added, all of which are pretty important for the majority of players. One here, a little bit smaller, they say they are aware of an issue where changing the fire mode on the M16 is not reflected on the UI indicator. Pretty small update here, but if you are someone who's going back and forth on the fire rate, it might be a bit hard to tell which one you're in without just shooting it to test. So just be aware of that, be cautious of that in case you are constantly doing that. That said, I'm not sure how many players are, one, actively using the M16, two, actively changing its fire mode a ton, but regardless, they're aware of it. More importantly, though, they have listed, we are aware of an issue some players are experiencing affecting progression and attachments on the ISO Hemlock. This is one that I've seen a lot of you guys asking about, where it just won't let you level up the Hemlock. It's visually glitched where it says you're a certain level, but you're not at that level yet, or vice versa. You're too high of a level, it says you're not there yet, or just simply unlocking attachments for it in general where they're not showing up as usable and selectable in the menu. So considering the Hemlock is like that top tier A1 rifle right now, definitely obnoxious that some players are having some issues actually even being able to equip it and use it in game with the proper setup. So that one I imagine is going to be fixed here pretty soon, considering the Hemlock is a top priority for the meta right now. They also say they are investigating the issue following the latest update to polyatomic camos where surfaces do not display as intended. This is a bit of a strange one. They did just update the polyatomic camo to be like more like smooth purple all around. For some players though, it's still showing as like that older sort of polyatomic camo where there's a lot of the like black and dark gray space on the camo as well, particularly on like the magazines or the barrels or part of the stocks. It's, I believe, supposed to be like fully purple. That's how it appears for me in game, but I've seen images where other players have a completely different looking one. So it's kind of strange how it's going back and forth right now for some users and then not for some users. So that should be sorted here soon. Also, for what it's worth, speaking of camo challenges, there is a large issue going on right now where double kills are not currently tracking correctly for camo challenges. I believe that one is something that's being looked into, but I've seen a lot of questions about that too. A lot of comments recently saying, hey, Zach, my double kills aren't tracking. Any word on that? That should also be updated here soon. You might want to focus on some different camo challenges though for the time being, just to optimize that workflow a bit. Then lastly here, as I mentioned at the start of the video, we do actually have some new leaks in regards to another update potentially coming to DMZ. We're not sure the exact time frame here. This is stemming from Task Force leakers over on Twitter, and apparently with the Season 2 Reloaded update, there were some new audio files and voice lines added to the game in regards to a new character for DMZ known as Scavenger. Now here's the thing, some of the voice lines are a little bit more hostile. I can't obviously play any of them in the video here, but they're not happy with your character basically if you're doing certain actions in game. The majority of the voice lines though appear to be hinting at this being some kind of trader or like marketplace character in the game, and this is something that's been missing from DMZ since launch, and something that a lot of players have suggested would make DMZ maybe a little bit more worth their time, a little bit more like Tarkov, and have more value in carrying around certain objects that you could then take to the scavenger, to the trader, and trade them in for cash, or maybe for a different piece of equipment or something to have a larger end goal or a different kind of side objective in game outside of just doing very specific missions for your different factions, right? So either this is going to be that new kind of trader experience, the scavenger is going to be a trading character, or scavenger is going to be some kind of boss, maybe a mix of both, if you will. We'll have to see. We have talked a bit about how that reputation system and trust system has sort of leaked as well recently, so maybe the scavenger could be something that is like partially against you until you earn a certain trust level, and then you can use the scavenger to trade, and then kind of just turns into a mini objective within DMZ itself, which honestly could be pretty cool. We'll of course find out more about this officially in the future for sure. Like I said, we don't have a time frame as to when we could see this scavenger character, whether it's with Season 3 Reloaded, even further on down the line. Once we have anything official there, or any other updates or reveals happening, you guys already know I'ma have you covered, so stay tuned for that alongside everything else going on in the world of Call of Duty. Feel free to hit that subscribe button and turn on those post notifications, and if you guys enjoyed the video, let me know by dropping a like on it as well, would be really appreciated. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in, and until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.